Melanie Hunter.
Hey, good morning. We're off to a chilly start, and any of that snow that we were waking up to yesterday is well to our north and to our east. We just have some clouds moving through our area, and as that system continues to track east out of our area, we're left with some morning fog. Yeah, we have reduced visibility through Yuba City down to about a quarter of a mile, about half a mile near Sacramento International Airport, and you're also driving through some of that fog, especially on the east side of the valley through Jackson and through Angels Camp, where there's a bit of dense fog. So once the fog does lift later on this morning, then we're just left with a mix of sun and clouds that's going to continue throughout the day. We do remain dry in the valley. Some of those clouds could squeeze out a few flurries throughout the Sierra, but we're just expecting a dusting there. So we have patchy fog for your morning, and by this afternoon, our temperatures are going to warm near average in the valley, low 60s under that mix of sun and clouds. Then by this evening, we're going to clear out pretty nicely, and temperatures are going to drop to pretty chilly overnight lows. We're tracking more rain and snow later in the week, and we'll time that out. Up next, back to you. We're still holding on to yesterday's warmth with a lot of spots that are in the 70s. Today won't be as warm, but it's going to be windy. We have a red flag warning in place for the next couple of days. How long the windy and warm weather lasts coming up. Yeah, pretty similar feel today as you head outside. It is off to a pretty quiet and nice start as we take a look right now at our Rancho Cordova sky camera. Good morning if you're traveling along Highway 50 near Sunrise, where temperatures sitting just near 50 degrees. 52 in Stockton, a degree higher through Modesto, 54 in Sacramento, and 28 below that freezing mark through Lake Tahoe. Our satellite view does show mostly clear conditions as you're waking up. We do have this system passing by through the Pacific Northwest, bringing some rain to portions of Seattle and Portland. Wish we'd see that, but we're dry. The only influence that this will have for us today, it's going to prevent our daytime heating from really ramping up. So we'll see temperatures similar to yesterday, and that'll continue again. We'll just have a degree or two fluctuation in our daytime highs as that low continues to move east heading into Friday. So a similar feel. And then on Saturday, slightly warmer. You might notice a few clouds. And if you have travel plans through the Sierra, there is a chance for a thunderstorm or two south of Highway 50 being the best chance. Now from there, watch as this high just sitting right here is just really going to amplify into Sunday, and then especially heading into your Memorial Day and into next week. We are talking hot temperatures, and we will likely hit above that triple-digit mark. For today in the Sierra, slightly warm temperatures right near 70 through Truckee and South Lake Tahoe, with upper 70s through Quincy, mid 70s through Arnold, and it is breezy this afternoon with that southwest wind 10 to 20 miles per hour. Sunshine through the foothills today, upper 70s through Grass Valley, 80s through Auburn, Angels Camp down through Sonora. Off to the Bay Area, San Francisco getting back into the 60s again today. Inland, Concord, Antioch, low 80s, 84 through Fairfield, upper 70s through Lakeport. A similar feel to yesterday this afternoon throughout the San Joaquin Valley, in the upper 80s near 90 through Turlock, with some sun and a northwest wind about 5 to 15 miles per hour. And through the Sacramento area, upper 80s near 90 through Yuba City, so the warm spot there, with a light southwest wind throughout the day and more of that breeze picking up just before sunset. Are you ready for the KCRA 7-day forecast over the next couple of days? Just enjoy it. Will be slightly warm, a few more clouds build in with that chance for some Sierra storms on Saturday, and then Sunday we really ramp up with those temperatures, upper 90s near 100 from there. Memorial Day and into Tuesday, very hot temperatures expected, likely going to hit our first triple digit of the year, and then we stay warm into Tuesday, continuing to be warm into next week. So if you do have outdoor plans this weekend, you want to make sure you pack plenty of stuff to keep you cool. If you can, plan some of those activities this weekend indoors. Yeah, good morning. If you're a southbound I-5 commuter, you have a bit of a slowdown to get through. So we'll start right here. As you're approaching Fruit Ridge, you see those red speed sensors. What happened right here is we have a flatbed truck that lost its trailer, involved in a crash there, and also CHP is holding a traffic break for now. So expect some delays if you do have to travel southbound I-5. Maybe think about taking Freeport Boulevard as your alternate if that works for you, or Highway 99. Let's head south of that area. So if you've been driving through Stockton, you've probably noticed these overhead signs, West Highway 4 to close this Friday. Well, Caltrans has now updated that schedule, and that 55-hour closure has been pushed back. So it won't be this weekend. it'll be the following weekend. So you get off the hook for a bit until that does close. That's that entire West Highway 4 stretch. Manteca, Ripon, Modesto looks pretty good. Tracy, you're off to a clear start. Yesterday, if you had to get to Oakland, you might have gotten stuck in a big backup on northbound 880. Well, right now we don't have any delays as you're trying to reach Oakland. Back to you, Tony. And let's talk about the Sierra. As you're traveling past Kingvale, this is the view. Maybe a dusting of snow on the road, but for the most part, clear. Some spots still have chain controls. We'll head to those areas coming up next. It's a mild start, so soak it up. Our temperatures are reaching the triple digits again today. How long do these triple digits stick around? We'll take a look at that full forecast and also take a look at the smoke forecast coming up. Yeah, we're going to spend the week with some days in the triple digits. We officially start summer tomorrow, and yes, it's definitely going to feel like it. Already this morning, we're off to a warmer start for most of us. 24-hour temperature change shows areas shaded in the orange, 14 to 13 degrees warmer in Auburn and in Placerville, putting those temperatures in the low 60s. Mix of the 60s and 50s stepping out along the coast through the Delta and also through the valley, 30s in Truckee and South Lake Tahoe. You're not stepping out to that much wind up and down the valley. The stronger breeze is felt through Placerville. That downsloping wind coming in at about 12 miles per hour, helping with the warming. Now this morning, I think it could be a little bit breezier along the 505 and I-5 corridor, but generally we should have a northwest wind throughout the day, 5 to 15 miles per hour. Satellite view does show mainly clear conditions, but you see all these clouds approaching the far northwest corner of California. We're going to see some of those high and mid-level clouds today, but we really are going to see mostly sunshine, and temperatures are really going to get a boost. Yesterday we were in the upper 80s and we'll likely surpass that by noon. Eventually this afternoon our daytime highs are going to range in the low to mid 90s. We just take our temperatures up from here. Full forecast coming up. Let's head to Yolo County. Good morning. I-5 as you head past Elkhorn. Here you don't see that much traffic, but you do see that camera shot shaking in the wind there. So we do have a travel advisory posted by Caltrans to not have any campers or trailers or permit loads drive along that I-5 bypass. Heading off toward Tracy. Usually this time of the morning, it's the westbound side where we see the slowdown, and this morning, eastbound 205 at I-5. A portion of that still blocked off due to an incident. On over to Oakland. Right now, no big time backup. Still some ongoing construction. At one point this morning, northbound 880 was shut down fully at Broadway, and that was due to police activity, but it has since reopened. Let's talk about those changes coming to the Sierra. So you want to make sure you have your chains handy if you do have to travel along 80, 50, or any of the passes. Right now, everything is open, so it looks good. At least Tioga Pass, that is closed. But keep in mind, if you do have to travel this weekend, here's some helpful tools. The road conditions hotline, 1-800-427-7623. You can also check the Caltrans Quick Map, and that will tell you where chains are required if there are any closures. Back to you, Taylor and Deirdre. Hot and smoky. Yeah, it's not the best Friday forecast, but we'll take a look at who sees the smoke when we finally clear out, and that weekend forecast coming up next. Yeah, nice to have clear conditions, at least through Fairfield. Not all the spots can say the same thing, especially if you're traveling south of Stockton this morning. We'll get there in a second. Right now, I want to talk your temperatures because it's chilly in most spots. Upper 30s in Sacramento, upper 30s if you're traveling through the Fairfield area, low 40s in Stockton and Modesto, and in the teens in the Sierra. So here's a look at our visibility. Right now, Yuba City at 4-mile visibility, so not too bad. Under a mile through Sacramento, that's Sacramento and Executive, and then also you're dealing with some freezing fog if you're traveling in and around areas of Truckee. But look at this. You travel towards Stockton and south of that, and the visibility really drops off. That's where we have a dense fog advisory that's in place until 10 o'clock. So areas of Stockton, Modesto, and if you're continuing to travel south along Highway 99, you want to give yourself some extra time. How long does this fog hold on? Well, here's a look at our futurecast. This is at about 9 o'clock, and it should clear pretty quickly. By about noon, it looks like we'll be under mostly sunshine for the afternoon. All because we have high pressure in charge. You see that here with our satellite view. Any of this cloud cover, it extends well to the north while we are under that high pressure. That'll bring us the warmer temperatures, the clear conditions, and the light wind. Here's where we have some changes, though. As we head into tomorrow, this weak system is going to push through the Pacific Northwest, bringing rain there. Wish we could say the same, but we'll remain dry. We will see a few more clouds with this. Temperatures will drop off a bit, and the breeze will pick up. And then beyond that, we'll get more of a north wind heading into into Wednesday, and high pressure is going to try to build back in. So light wind in the Sierra today. Temperatures in the low 50s in Truckee and South Lake Tahoe, so a few degrees higher than yesterday. Wall-to-wall sunshine in the Sierra, and we'll extend that all the way to the foothills. Mid to upper 60s for those foothill locations, so a pretty pleasant day. That offshore wind is going to keep it nice and clear throughout the Bay Area. Most spots will be in the upper 60s, low 70s for areas south like San Jose. So we've got the fog this morning, that dense fog, especially through areas like Stockton and Modesto. But this afternoon, you'll reach the mid to upper 60s, and more of the mostly sunny conditions taking it to the Sacramento Valley, mid to upper 60s there as well. Here's how the rest of the week looks. Not too bad with our temperatures. We'll stay in the 60s. A slight dip as we head through about midweek. In our daytime highs, we'll see a few more clouds. Thanksgiving looks beautiful. Maybe some more clouds moving through the area that day. Low 60s, so seasonable for this time of year. Then we stay in the 60s. More sunshine builds in for the weekend. Unfortunately, do remain dry. Yeah, construction, road work, slowdowns. We have it all for your morning drive. This is your view out the door in Tracy. You can see where everyone's hanging out right here, westbound 205 near 580. So it's shaping up to be a pretty typical Tracy commute. Here's where we have those construction delays. Do you drive through Manteca? You might want to avoid West Highway 120 from Manteca Road to about Union. There's a slowdown in this spot for a lane closure as well as some ramp closures that's been going on through that area. Looks like the road work we've been following along I-5 near Elk Grove. We did have a construction crew right here. There may be still some cones up as you're heading south on I-5 near Elk Grove Boulevard, so just watch for that. Still some of that overnight enhancement work that's going on. Drive times reflect that between Vacaville and Fairfield looks pretty good. West I-80 Highway 4 to the Bay Bridge, plan for a commute right around 15 to 20 minutes there. Still have a lot of road closures in place in Sonoma and Napa counties for the glass fire. A couple of the big ones, Highway 12 between Mission and Arnold, eastbound Highway 128 at Petrified Forest Road, and then also northbound and southbound Highway 29. This is between Deer Park Road and Tubbs Lane. Back to you, Ty and Tony. Yeah, it's a little bit different as we're waking up. We're not talking about the rain, we're not talking about the snow, but we're still talking about some pretty chilly temperatures. Good morning to you as you're stepping outside. Temperatures are in the low 40s, so yes, we are off to a chilly start with temperatures in the upper 30s and some areas of patchy frost in the foothills, single digits in Truckee and South Lake Tahoe. But when you factor in the slight north breeze that we do have in place, it feels like the mid to upper 30s in the valley, so you definitely want to bundle up. Feels like 30 degrees in Placerville and the negatives in South Lake Tahoe. So here's that slight breeze I was mentioning up and down the valley. A little bit breezier through Fairfield this morning, but in Truckee we've got a calm wind, and that has allowed some freezing fog to form with visibility now near half a mile. So if you do have to travel along I-80, expect some slick conditions. Here's how today is going to go. So we stay chilly in the upper 30s with some clouds this morning, and temperatures are just going to gradually warm up a little bit warmer than yesterday. We'll be in and out of the clouds with temperatures in the low to mid 40s by about noon. Still dry with temperatures staying in the upper 40s near 50 this afternoon before temperatures drop overnight to some cold overnight lows. We'll talk about how cold we're going to get as we head into the weekend and when we're back in the rain and snow. Yeah, good morning. So we're starting with a live look along Highway 89. This is your current view as you're traveling past West River. So you see some of those flurries coming down. You do see here, at least it looks a little bit clear as far as the roadways are concerned. But along Highway 89 south of this, that's where I've noticed with our Caltrans cameras that we're picking up on a bit more of the traction concerns along Highway 89. Now, as for chain controls, if you're traveling along I-80 over the summit, it's going to be slick. You're going to be dealing with some ice likely. No chain controls up over the summit, but if you are a truck, there is truck screening at Applegate, so that's always a sign that it is a little slick along I-80. Along Highway 50 Placerville, that camera shot picking up on some of the wet conditions as well. We do have chain controls south of Highway 50. We'll take a closer look at that coming up next. Back to you. The wind is our main weather story. While that's great for the valley, bringing cooler temperatures and better air quality, it's a big concern in the Sierra. We'll take a closer look at the conditions in and around the Caldor fire and how your forecast is impacted this week coming up. Yeah, I think anyone that's joining us this early, I'm not so sure they'll be staying up to midnight, right? It's a little bit
hurts.
late. Yeah. Good morning to you. Welcome to your Friday, and let's start you with those temperatures. It's off to a pretty chilly start if you're waking up in portions of the valley, including Sacramento, in the upper 30s, low 40s in Stockton, mid 40s in Modesto. It's a little bit warmer there, and definitely feels a lot better this morning in the Sierra, where temperatures are in the upper 20s in South Lake Tahoe. So that's actually 22 degrees warmer than this time yesterday. We take a live look through Rancho Cordova. You see a little bit of haze out there, so there are some areas of patchy fog. In fact, some dense fog if you're traveling near McClellan Air Force Base. That's where we've had visibility down to about 1/4 of a mile. Also seeing some fog in and around the Lincoln area, about 2.5 miles, so that shouldn't impact your drive overall that much. And in Tuolumne County, we've also have some fog that's popping up there. Now, the dense fog is also if you travel south on Highway 99, if you're traveling south of Madera. There's a dense fog advisory in place through 10 o'clock this morning. Let's take a look at that satellite view. Pretty quiet conditions across our area, but as we take a look to the east, we still have this system that is sliding down into the Great Basin, and that could bring some flurries to the Sierra today. So if you're traveling along I-80, you may get a dusting, but I think most of the snow is going to stay on the eastern crest of the Sierra. Now, beyond that, once that slides out of here, then we'll have high pressure take charge for the weekend, and that's going to keep our conditions dry. So we will have some pretty nice afternoons after we get through some pretty chilly mornings. Today in the Sierra, temperatures warmer this morning. I do think temperatures will stay in the 30s again today with some clouds this afternoon, light wind, a little bit gusty this morning though on the ridge tops. And temperatures won't be as warm in the foothills today, but likely we'll get back into the mid to upper 40s with a mix of sun and clouds throughout the day before temperatures drop off again to some pretty chilly overnight lows. As for the San Francisco area, temperatures get back into the low 50s, and we also have a concern for coastal flooding this weekend, so keep that in mind. If you're going to any low-lying areas, the king tides could cause some of that flooding. Low 50s in the San Joaquin Valley with more of that sunshine breaking through this afternoon, and in the low 50s, near 50 in Davis though, low 50s in downtown Sacramento and Roseville with increasing sunshine this afternoon. So it should be a pretty nice day, and it will remain dry. So we continue with those dry conditions for the weekend. Now, if you are out celebrating, it will be chilly tonight, and especially waking up tomorrow morning. We'll do that again on Sunday. Temperatures this weekend should stay right near 50 in the low 50s. Next chance of rain, while it was looking pretty impressive, looks like it's dwindling down just a bit. But we'll keep some rain chances in the forecast for late Monday into Tuesday. Beyond that, mostly cloudy conditions. We're traveling to I-5. Good morning. Heading past Airport Boulevard. Checking in here. Both directions. Looks pretty normal for your commute. Now, as we head on over to El Dorado County, here's where you will need a detour if you travel along Highway 193. It is closed at Ritchie Road in both directions, and this is due to a crash that's knocked down power lines across the road. So you will need to take an alternate route to get around that closure. There isn't a lot of information on it or when it's expected to reopen. To the Sierra we go. Let's start in South Lake Tahoe, where everyone's still asleep, still a quiet view of that intersection. Highway 50 at Highway 89. Up over the summit, if you are headed toward Truckee or possibly continuing toward Reno, you can see there's just a handful of cars out there this morning. We've just had some Caltrans sweepers that have been out clearing some of the roads. Still have the pass closures, Ebbets, Monitor, Sonora, all those are still blocked off. And if you are a super commuter this morning, we're just seeing a little bit of a slowdown once you get onto 580, and then also that congested spot along southbound Highway 84 is starting to pop up. Deirdre? Yeah, the weekend looking hot and a little smoky as well. So as we head outside this morning, we can enjoy your Friday start. At least we still have some mild temperatures and decent air quality through the valley areas. 60s through Yuba City, Fairfield, Modesto, upper 50s for you in Stockton, and mild through the foothills. 68 in Auburn, 72 in Placerville. Chilly start, 32 in Truckee right now, and it's a 37 through South Lake Tahoe. Let's talk about the wind. That's impacting where that smoke is going. You see the downsloping wind through Auburn, through Placerville, so that's really concentrating some of the smoke and some of that decreased air quality into the eastern side of the valley. But we also still have that northerly shift coming down the northern Sacramento Valley, and that's going to shift more smoke into our area as we advance into the afternoon. Really thick smoke through Placerville and South Lake Tahoe, where you see that visibility is still under a mile. So let's plan out the day. Here's how it's going to go. Mild this morning near 9 o'clock. You're in the low 70s with some haze. More of that smoke expected past noon. We're in the upper 80s and eventually topping out in the upper 90s near 100. We'll take a look at how the temperature changes into the weekend coming up. Right now, let's get another check of the Friday roads. Check out a couple of our valley spots. Good morning to you. Starting out the door in West Sacramento. Highway 15 near Harbor Boulevard looks great, doesn't it? And then if you are waking up in Roseville, I-80 near Darling Way. Yeah, nothing to worry about there. So we're still off to a pretty manageable start. And as we zoom out for an overall picture, you see that here with all that green. Whether you're waking up in Folsom, Rockland, Lincoln, Natomas, Elk Grove, you've got an easy drive ahead of you. No manic Monday conditions just yet. In Rio Vista, no delays. You're moving along nicely. Just remember, if you travel Highway 160 north of the Rio Vista area, the Paintersville Bridge, that is closed still for some ongoing construction. So you've had some ongoing construction closures through the Delta, and now it has moved to the Paintersville Bridge. Out in Tracy, your usual traffic pattern is forming for the 205 stretch, and that's the view. Everyone hanging out at that 580 interchange. So what does that mean for your drive time? We're still not in the red, holding on to the yellow, so minor slowing heading through the Altamont Pass. And then if you're traveling west I-80, Highway 4 to the Bay Bridge, good morning to our super commuters. You are incident free so far. I-80 over Donner Summit, nice and wide open for you. Yeah, just no one out there, just one car making its way through the area. You might just see some Caltrans crews that are out there clearing the road, but that's about it. Back to you. Lighter wind and possibly a little bit more haze today. Beyond that, our temperatures are going up. We'll take a full look at your weekend forecast coming up. Yeah, we're going to get well above that. And I just looked at our max temperatures for yesterday, and we snuck in a late day high of 103. So we even took that a little bit higher as we're getting into the evening. That is well above average for downtown Sacramento. We'll continue with that heat trend today. More July heat for areas of California, including heat advisories that are up for areas to the north of the Sacramento area. Areas like Red Bluff and Redding could max out near 110, maybe even higher today, while it'll also be pretty hot through the Central Valley. The reason why? High pressure over the Four Corners, that's driving some warmer temperatures aloft and also driving some very clear conditions that we are going to see throughout the day. You might see some haze in some specific areas mixed in from the Washburn fire, but we are mainly focusing on some pretty hot temperatures today. You want to plan around the heat, upper 60s this morning, so you likely won't need that light jacket this morning. 47 degrees in Lake Tahoe. Here's our 12-hour forecast. Take advantage of the morning, get your walks, your runs, take the kids to the park this morning. By noon, we'll be back in the low 90s, and this afternoon we'll be in a range of 101 to 105. Now, the record high in downtown Sacramento for today is 110. We won't be near that, but we are going to be well above 100. Even today in this area, it's going to be pretty toasty in the upper 80s. You also might again see some of that haze mixed with that sunshine from the Washburn fire. Light northeast wind as well. Down to the foothills, some spots maxing out near 100. That includes you in Angels Camp and Sonora. Everyone else, it's still going to stay pretty warm to toasty as well in the mid to upper 90s. Now, along the coast this morning, there's a pretty shallow marine layer. There'll be an onshore breeze this afternoon, keeping temperatures near 70, so still fairly mild, while we really go up inland into the upper 90s in the Delta, around 100 degrees in Lake County. In a range of 101 to 104 for San Joaquin Valley, 103 for you in Modesto, plenty of sunshine, light wind as well, and more of the same for the Sacramento Valley, near 104 in Woodland, 105 in Yuba City and Roseville. So here's a look at our futurecast. We still hold on to this high pressure as a dominant feature into tomorrow, maybe shaving a few degrees off of our highs. And then by midweek, this wave is going to pass to our north, and hopefully that'll help to drop us below the triple digits. But it does appear that we're getting back into it. So plenty of sunshine and some pretty toasty to hot temperatures near 100 tomorrow. Will likely slide below the century mark into about midweek, and then it does appear that as we get going into the end of the week, into the weekend, we will get back into those hot temperatures. Luckily, it doesn't look too bad throughout the valley. Let's start you out the door along I-5. Good morning. Welcome to your Tuesday commute. This is the view near Pocket Road. Now, just about 5 minutes ago, we had a bit of a backup here due to a vehicle off to the right-hand side. So right now, it looks like we're moving along pretty smoothly. As you get closer towards 6th Avenue on I-5, that's where it looks like we might have some of that fog lingering for your drive, although everyone seems to be up to speed there. As Eileen mentioned, it's Modesto and south of that where we're picking up on more of that reduced visibility. You're taking taking a look here, this is an image in the Ceres area near Faith Home Road, so visibility drops off there. Then also the current image at the Turlock rest stop where you see that fog. Dense fog, the CMS signs, those overhead signs are activated, warning of a dense fog as you're approaching Merced. So if you travel that 99 corridor, that means you'll likely see this for your view. So make sure you have your low beams on. Luckily, no big time delays through that area. Off toward the foothills, I-80 at Crystal Springs, nice and wide open for you here. Do watch for some sweeping crews through the foothills and over the summit if you are traveling along I-80. Back to you. Areas of patchy fog in the valley and partly sunny conditions for all of us. Temperatures will be slightly cooler. We'll be in the upper 50s near 60 in the valley. Full forecast as we head into the weekend coming up. If you're headed off to the Bay Area, checking in right now as you are headed across the Bay Bridge and the Richmond-San Rafael Bridge. Looks a little busy, doesn't it? We're going to check your drive times coming up. Yeah, it's been tough with the grass and the tree pollen, and right now the breeze, it's not really helping, Matt. As we take a look at our view across Fairfield, we will see a lot of those wind turbines getting a little bit busy. You also have a little bit of that marine layer as well. So we've got the cooler air moving in off the ocean and into the valley, and that's making it feel pretty comfortable. But it's also breezy, though, stepping outside through areas like Yuba City, through Stockton, and through Fairfield, which you just saw there in that view. Let's take a look at the temperature. What it is as you're stepping outside, mainly in the upper 40s near 50 in the valley, upper 30s in Placerville, and not too far off from the Sierra. But when you factor in a little bit of that breeze, you want to dress for these feels-like temperatures. Feels like 40 degrees in Fairfield, 44 in Sacramento and Modesto, feels like 34 in Placerville, and 30 degrees in South Lake Tahoe. So you do want to bundle up, and you might even want that sweater, a long sleeve layer for this afternoon. Here's how it's going to go for today. You'll likely have a steady breeze through Stockton and Modesto throughout the majority of the day. Less of the breeze in the Sacramento Valley and the foothills, but it is going to turn gusty throughout the Sierra, so that's something we'll be talking about throughout the morning and the impacts being felt there. Plenty of sunshine today, coolest day of the week, and the low 70s for daytime highs. We'll take a look at how long these pleasant conditions last coming up. If you travel to Nokomis to get downtown, southbound I-5 near I-80, take a look at this parking lot. So this is just the beginning of a backup due to a crash that is working right now near J Street. So as we zoom in for a closer look, this is the view near P Street. So you just have traffic that's squeezing by in this one lane right here. The majority of southbound I-5 is blocked off, and at one point traffic was being diverted off at Richards Road. So if you can, for your morning commute, you'll want to avoid southbound I-5. It continues to back up even before you reach that interchange with I-80. Our other slow spot takes us right here. As you are heading west on Highway 4, see the red speed sensors traveling past Bay Point, and you get closer to Highway 242. There's an incident that's still blocking a portion of the road involving multiple vehicles. It's not all bad for your commute, though. Lodi, Stockton, you have a 99 clear drive ahead of you, and it still looks pretty good out of Modesto. No incidents slowing you down to reach Manteca. Tracy, though, you just have that usual backup right there. Looks like the slowest spot is going to be once you get onto 580. Back to you, Teo. We're talking about the strong wind today, cooler and gusty as well. We'll take a look at when the strong wind reaches your area and the temperature outlook as you head back for the work week coming up. Yes, very enjoyable. We've gotten pretty lucky this week. You know, October we spent a lot of above average days, but for the past few days it's been below average, and hopefully you've been enjoying it this morning as you're waking up, getting going. You do want to layer up again. 45 degrees in Sacramento, falling to 43 degrees in Stockton and Modesto, 21 in Lake Tahoe. We glance across Fairfield, and this is where it actually feels like it's in the upper 30s thanks to just a slight breeze that is in place, so you do want to layer up there. Satellite view shows a couple of things. So yesterday we had a little bit of that breeze. We had this low that's spinning to our east, and that was a little bit closer to us while high pressure was trying to build in. So that kicked up a little bit of that breeze. Today we should generally have light wind. If you're on the west side of the valley, you might feel just a slight breeze along that I-5 corridor, but overall it's going to stay pretty pleasant. You do see some clouds that are drifting north to south, and we'll see just a few of those clouds, but for the most part we're all gaining plenty of sunshine. You can see our futurecast being put into motion and really hard pressed to find any cloud cover. So with that sunshine, our temperatures are going to respond by warming up to the low 50s in South Lake Tahoe and Truckee. After this cold start, a lot of the foothill locations will be in the mid to upper 60s. You'll be at 64 in Placerville, near 75 in Fairfield, taking those temperatures to the low 70s in Concord and Antioch. More of that same feel through the San Joaquin Valley, 72 in Stockton, 71 in Modesto, plenty of sun and light wind. A lot of 72s across the board throughout greater Sacramento, so it'll be another mild afternoon with plenty of sun and a light wind by the back half of the day. Headed to the Kings game, well, it'll be mild with sun by 5 o'clock if you're headed to grab some dinner beforehand. Now by tip-off and getting closer to a sunset, temperatures will drop into the upper 60s. You'll definitely feel a little bit cooler as you step out after the game, with temperatures falling into the upper 50s, so grab a thicker jacket. Our futurecast pattern shows mild conditions that'll be with us through the weekend and even through Sunday. This storm track continues to stay well to our north. Would be nice to get a piece of this rain. Looks like we bring those chances in as we get into late Tuesday and into Wednesday. We're talking about the return chances of rain and snow and definitely some cooler temperatures. Here's how the 7-day forecast pans out. Low 70s through the week and into the weekend. Maybe we'll gain a couple of degrees, but it's still going to stay relatively nice in the mid to upper 70s. My pick is Sunday. It'll be a little bit brighter. Thanks, Dirk. Good morning to all of you. Traffic looks pretty good, and you can see that right here through Natomas I-5 near Del Paso, moving along smoothly and no issues. If you're an Elk Grove commuter heading north, you'll be joining, well, one semi, so very quiet start, which is what we like to see as we are wrapping up the work week. It looks a lot different if you're headed over Donner Summit compared to what we had yesterday morning. So roads nice and clear. You see that with the black pavement there, and it's continuing to look pretty nice all the way toward the state line. Now, as Dirk mentioned, the main thing to watch out for if you're traveling south of our area, Highway 99 south of Merced, you'll see some of these overhead signs warning that there's a fog advisory in place, reminding you to use your low beams and slow down. All those things that remind you if you do have to travel through the fog. So that's Highway 99 south of Merced. And then closer to home for us, we're still dealing with some big time backups. In fact, in both directions between Manteca and Ripon. This was due to earlier incidents, and now heading south, you see more of a slowdown. That's due to some ongoing construction, bringing with it some lane closures. Deirdre? Yeah, pretty pleasant. No complaints here. Pretty nice start. You can see that from that view. And then also as we take a look across downtown Sacramento, so mainly clear conditions have helped to drop our temperatures this morning. And in fact, we are running cooler than this time yesterday, anywhere from 2 degrees cooler off of the coast to 9 degrees chillier through areas of this area like Truckee and South Lake Tahoe, coming in the 20s and 30s, while a lot of valley spots have dropped into the upper 40s, still holding on to 50 degrees in Placerville and then also along the coast. Now 47 degrees is the temperature in Fairfield, but it has been feeling like 40 degrees. It's breezy to windy. You have a southwest breeze about 17 miles per hour, and then also a little bit windy along the coast. Now this is all while a wave passes by to the north. As it continues to track farther east, we'll lose the influence of that breeze for a brief period today. Mainly clear, you can see that along the coast, but then right here off in the Pacific, you see this batch of clouds, and that's going to eventually make its way into our area. So we'll have a mix of sun and clouds throughout the day. Daytime highs will be mild again, a couple degrees off of yesterday's highs in the mid to upper 70s. Bit of a breeze this evening, keeping it comfy in the 60s. So we'll talk about how long the mild weather does continue coming up in my full forecast. But right now, let's talk the roads. Good morning, Brian. Good morning to all of you. So let's start with a look at the speed sensors here. You're taking a look at our traffic map. Southbound I-5 near Peltier right here. And then behind that, as you are approaching Walnut Grove, that's where the delay does begin, because as Brian mentioned, we have that slow lane blocked off. So if it works for you, you can try Highway 99 there south of Galt. We don't have any delays, but you definitely want to use extreme caution if you do have to travel south on I-5 through that stretch. Let's head to the Sierra. So here we're talking about, well, what used to be chain restrictions set up. No longer chain controls in place along Highway 50 from Twin Bridges, but you do still see that could be a little slick if you are traveling along Highway 50, and also portions sections of I-80. We still have chain controls in place. Highway 267, 89, 88, and 4. That plus the purple shading you're seeing, those are passes still closed off. They've been closed for the winter and still remain shut down. Taking a look at the valley, not too bad. Off to a really nice start. It's actually pretty gorgeous out, isn't it? Highway 15 near 65th and then the I-5 bypass. Nice and clear for you to reach the airport. Back to you, Teo and Deirdre. Yeah, Jose asked me about this. He said, do you happen to know when, if ever, Garden Highway will finally open? I reached out to the Army Corps of Engineers for an update for you, Jose. Live Copter 3 flew over the area earlier this week. You can see that view here. Right now, Garden Highway is shut down between I-5 and Truxell Road. It's expected to reopen at the end of the month. Finally, this has been about 13 months in the making, so it does seem like it's been a while, but the closure was part of a series of closures that had been planned. The Army Corps of Engineers says this is the final closure. Now, there may still be some lane closures for remaining work. What's your commuter concern? Email me, commuterconcerns@kcra.com. You can also find me on Facebook at Melanie Hunter TV. And we'll take a look at your drive towards Stockton if that's where you're headed this morning. Meanwhile, in the Sacramento area, it all looks pretty good. We'll take a look at those slow spots off to the Bay Area, and your drive time's up next. Less wind, a little more haze today, and also a boost in our temperatures. Tomorrow starts fall, and we definitely want to feel like it. Will it, though? We'll take a look at the full forecast coming up next. The worst of the air quality still socked in through the Tahoe Basin. Unfortunately, still waking up to that poor air quality there. Temperatures, though, in Lake Tahoe are rather chilly as well. 34 degrees through Lake Tahoe, and even nice as you're waking up through Sacramento and Stockton. 54 in Stockton, 60 in Modesto. So let's take a closer look at that air quality. So where you see the darkest shading, that is where air is very unhealthy. So pretty socked in along the west shore of Tahoe, through Truckee, through South Lake Tahoe, and areas through the foothills like Grass Valley and in Forest Hill. Says it's pretty smoky there as well, and waking up to pretty poor air quality, especially through Placerville. This visibility, usually we use it to show you the fog, but it has been a good indicator of also where the smoke is pretty thick. So you see the drop off in visibility now down to half a mile through South Lake Tahoe, a quarter of a mile through Truckee, and under a mile through Placerville. So a lot of that smoke just concentrated through those areas. As we get more of that upslope flow as we head later on through this morning, unfortunately, more of that smoke is just going to be concentrated through the Tahoe Basin and then spread across state lines, so through Carson City, through Reno, and we will continue to have some hazy conditions possible throughout the valley. More of that smoke possible making its way into the valley overnight, or at least some of that haze lingering, and then waking up tomorrow still through the foothills with more of that smoke. So still going to be a factor, unfortunately, through the foothills and through the Sierra. As we take a look at our future cast pattern, where you see these white lines, we get this dip right here. So that means we'll continue to have pretty comfortable temperatures. We won't see our temperatures rise all that much for the start of the week, and we'll continue to have that onshore flow. Breezy at times through the Delta and also through the Sierra. That southwest wind about 10 to 20 miles per hour throughout the Sierra. So watching that near the Caldor Fire with temperatures in the 70s and 80s, upper 80s, and hazy sunshine through Auburn and through Sonora as well. Keeping it cooler off to the coast, San Francisco has some patchy drizzle this morning. Temperatures stay in the low 60s. More of that onshore flow through Fairfield, keeping it near 84. And near 90 through Tracy today, 88 through Stockton, near 90 through Yuba City, and near 89 through downtown Sacramento. So those temperatures are staying below our average. Typically, we're sitting at 93. We'll keep it below average, so seasonably cool. Continuing through about midweek, we turn a little bit warmer by Thursday, possibly reaching the upper 90s, near 100 by the weekend. Yeah, we are seeing some issues, especially traveling along the 80 corridor, I-80 at Kingvale. So here, Caltrans has made its way through this area, and you still see some snow coating the road. So from Cisco to the Donner Lake interchange is where we have 80 chain controls in place. And earlier, we did have a vehicle spin out in the Cisco area. As you make your way over the summit, that's where the visibility drops off. You can see that here. Still more snow over the road, and then this camera shot has been shaky so far this morning morning due to the windy conditions. Highway 267 near North Star, there a vehicle just spun out, and as you take a drive along Highway 50, it's clear, at least for now, at Echo Summit, so we don't have chain controls in place, but it will likely still be slick if you're planning to travel. Earlier between Twin Bridges to Myers, we had chain restrictions that were up. Highway 89, you don't get any there, but 88 and 4, there are going to be traction concerns along with your chain controls. This morning, we haven't really been dealing with big time delays except for right here. So as you're traveling, maybe for that 580 super commute through Livermore, past Livermore, through Pleasanton, big backups continue due to an incident on West 580 before 680. Back to you, Teo and Deirdre. Layer up this morning. It's another cool start. This afternoon will be another mild day with daytime highs near 60 degrees and sunshine mixed with some clouds. We'll talk more about the snow outlook going forward for this month in the next hour. A bit of fog if you're traveling through the Truckee area, I-80 near Highway 89, and you're seeing it right here if you're heading through the Truckee bypass, where visibility reported around a mile and a quarter. Backups if you're traveling north 99. This will stretch between Salida and Manteca, so allow some extra time. Definitely wet weather arriving tomorrow, so enjoy today. It's still going to be a beautiful Northern California day, and in fact, temperatures this morning are off to a pretty comfortable start. A lot of 40s across the board up and down the valley. It's dropped into the upper 30s in Fairfield, upper 40s in Auburn and Placerville, low 20s in Truckee and South Lake Tahoe. Temperatures are running cooler for most areas compared to about 24 hours ago. Cool spot 11 degrees cooler in Fairfield, where your temperatures have really dropped off. There isn't much wind this morning. In fact, the strongest wind, if you want to call it that, is through the foothills, where we've got that downsloping breeze, but it's still under 10 miles per hour. We're not going to get much of a change with our overall breeze in the valley today. It's still going to be pretty comfortable out of the southwest. But here's where we got the changes, and you can see this comma shape right here. This is our next system that's going to bring us some wet weather tomorrow. Today, you see some of these clouds that are approaching the coast. That's all we're going to get, and the clouds aren't going to bring us any rain today. So we will be dry. Mainly sunshine this morning. By noon, temperatures are back in the mid to upper 60s, and eventually this afternoon, we're topping out in the low 70s with increasing high clouds. We'll talk more about what we're expecting with the timing of the rain and snow tomorrow coming up. Tamara, looks pretty good along I-5. This looks a lot better if you are a southbound commuter near 6th Avenue. If you had to travel this weekend, we had a big backup due to 2 lanes that were closed, and you do see now that you'll benefit from that this morning, a smoother commute as we have those newly repaved lanes. The northbound side looks pretty good. Now, as you're traveling around the Sacramento area today, you might see some more of those overhead signs that say West Highway 50 is now set to close. We've had a lot of big closures the past couple of weeks. So this starts Wednesday, continues to Friday, and that'll be during the overnight hours. Put a message into Caltrans to get more information on exactly where that is. I expect it to be along the WX freeway. At least that's where those signs are centered around. West I-80 this morning, Reed toward West Capitol Avenue. That's where you're traveling under the speed limit. You get it as well along the I-5 bypass. Deirdre? Welcome back and good Monday morning to you. Let's get you started for your day with temperatures that are in the upper 50s and low 60s. 58, that's a cooler spot through Stockton this morning. You see a little bit of haze out there, but sure is nice to see that blue sky across downtown Sacramento. Our 24-hour temperature change, so most areas are at or above from where we were 24 hours ago. Spots still cooler. That'll be through Placerville and through the Sierra, but I do think eventually our downtown Sacramento high is going to be just a degree higher than where we sat yesterday, near 99. The average that we typically have for this time of the year, 90 degrees, and we will stay below that record of the triple digits. But we could possibly reach the triple digits into tomorrow while we still have a pretty warm start in store for us. For the valley today, hazy sun and warm again in the mid to upper 90s, near 95 through areas like Lodi, 96 for you in Stockton. In the foothills, toasty temperatures, upper 80s in Grass Valley, near 92 for areas like Auburn and through Sonora, and in the Sierra, more of that hazy sun possible. Above average temperatures near 80 down toward lake level, and temperatures take it up to the upper 80s through Arnold. We'll have a light wind in place throughout the night, and that's going to gradually help drop our temperatures later on this evening. Warmer again tomorrow, but eventually we get that much needed relief and a cool down. We'll take a look at the timing of that coming up. Let's get another check of your commute. Yeah, so let's start in Lincoln, where we did have fog earlier this morning. Highway 65 near Ferrari Ranch. So right now, nice and clear for you. And you can see for your traffic picture, it's pretty quiet. Well, one car out there heading south along 65. So still manageable to get onto I-80. Heading out along the Cap City Freeway. Same story here, right? As you head past the Exposition Boulevard, no worries. Nice and easy to reach the downtown area. And then off toward another spot. East Sacramento drivers, your current view looking at Highway 50 near 65th Street. So a nice start for your Tuesday commute. Really, any of our cameras in the valley look like that one. I-80 at the Donner Lake interchange here. Roads are nice and dry for you. It does look like there's still a little bit of ice off to the side of the road, but roads are nicely clear as you are headed toward the state line. You do get to enjoy that nice snowy view for your commute. Back to you, Teo and Leticia. Welcome back and good Tuesday morning. Grab the jacket before you step outside. You might want a thicker one this morning. I know that's what I reached for. It is still in the upper 40s through Yuba City, Sacramento, Stockton, and Modesto. 46 in Yuba City. Upper 30s if you're in the foothills, and 25 through Truckee in South Lake Tahoe. Today we are going to keep those temperatures below average and cool. Satellite view shows two things I want to point out. So this is the trough that dropped into the Great Basin yesterday. It's now near the Four Corners, and as it continues to move farther east away from us, then we're going to notice our wind lighten up. And then our attention turns to this system right here in the Gulf of Alaska. At least from this viewpoint, it looks like it ought to be pretty impressive. But I do think once this front does reach our area, it will fall apart, and we shouldn't expect much in the way of anything from it. Maybe just some more clouds that move through our area overnight and into tomorrow morning. Here's a look at my 7-day forecast. So today will be near 72, staying with that breeze, but eventually as we head into the early afternoon, we'll notice less of it, and this evening it really drops off, helping to make for a cooler start into tomorrow. Tomorrow will be near 70, and then from there, high pressure is going to start to build in. We might feel more of the breeze Thursday, but nothing like yesterday. Upper 70s as we end the week, and then as we start into the weekend, we'll be back in the low 80s, so we'll be closer to average. Typically for this time of the year, we are at 81. Yeah, so we're going to take a look at Highway 50 first. These are some of the better shots right now, showing you the reduced visibility as you're traveling past Bradshaw Road. And then as you continue toward East Sacramento, the current view near 65th Street. Now, usually we can make out the buildings and the signs as you're continuing there. So you have the reduced visibility there. That's at least the stretch where I'm seeing the lowest for your drive throughout the Sacramento area. And it's a different story if you're traveling through Rockland and Roseville, where you're nice and clear. We'll be right back. Yeah, we're going to warm up very quickly, so take advantage of our temperatures that are still running fairly mild with a mix of the 60s up and down the valley, already in the upper 70s through the foothills, still in the 40s through the Sierra. From here, we have rapid warming. We'll be in the upper 80s by about 10 o'clock, so do anything that you need to do outdoors by about then. By noon, look at that, 97, and then the peak of our warmth is going to be between about 2 and 7. We are talking a forecasted high today of 109, so record-breaking heat with mostly sunshine, and the heat continues again into tomorrow. We are heading to Lincoln. Good morning, Highway 65 drivers. You see a bit of that damp pavement here as you head past Nelson Lane. So no big time backups here, but you might want to allow for some extra time. Now we'll head south of this area, and this is where we're picking up on some delays. So northbound 99, as you head through Salida and Ripon, a crash near Jacktone clogging up the commute. So you see that in red. You see the green shading where it's damp pavement. And then southbound I-5 between French Camp and Lathrop, also picking up on some backups in that spot. So stick with 99 if that works for your commute. Back to you, Tony. Yeah, Lisa's making for a really nice start. So you'll just need a long sleeve layer. That's about it this morning with pretty uniform temperatures. As we take a look at our temperature map, and you see 56 in Yuba City and Modesto. That's been our more mild spot, but it's now 55 degrees in Auburn and Placerville, 54 in Stockton, in and around the greater Sacramento area. Although you can't see those numbers on your screen, it's been a range of the low to mid 50s there. Low 50s in Fairfield off to the coast, 45 in South Lake Tahoe. You are waking up to 36 degrees in Truckee. Wind, it's a little bit breezy as you step out in Yuba City, windy through Fairfield and also through San Francisco, where it has been gusty. And this is as a front moves through our area. You can definitely make out that front with our satellite view. It's this line of clouds. It's kept the valley dry, but it has been squeezing out a few showers for areas in and around Plumas County, mainly for our locations north of I-80. And it's not going to last all that long. Should be wrapping up this morning. So we have some clouds this morning. It'll get a little bit brighter into the afternoon near 70 by noon. That's going to feel nice, right? Upper 70s near 80 for our daytime highs. We'll take a look at any changes we have by the end of the weekend, just how nice our temperatures will be coming up. Right now, though, let's get a check of the roads. Heading to I-5, good morning. If you travel 25th, very light traffic out there. It looks great in both directions, but as you are traveling around the greater Sacramento area, you're still going to see those overhead signs today talking about the closures that we had. Those lane closures are going to be back this weekend on southbound I-5 near Florence. So at least you get another day to wait on that. It happens Friday night, continuing through Monday, but something you will notice. You'll notice the shading on the road too as well. There's different colors there as we still have some areas that need to be repaved. So from there we head to West Sacramento. Yes, your usual backup. That's what you get again this morning. And there was an earlier incident that has gone, but we still get the delay behind it on West I-80 just before you reach West Capitol Avenue. Roseville, Citrus Heights, North Highlands, that all looks pretty good. As you continue across the top, you'll be right on time to reach the I-5 interchange. Back to you, Ty and Tony. Yeah, our main focus, and it's been gusty at times since midnight. We've seen some of those gusts that have been elevated. It's on the side of the valley where the wind is favoring spots. So right now, let's talk about your temperatures as you step outside. You might just want to grab the light jacket for your Monday start. 56 in Stockton, 61 in Modesto, 60 in Sacramento, and we are off to a pretty chilly start through Lake Tahoe at 30 degrees. Peak wind gusts since midnight, so it's favoring some of our wind-prone locations, areas like the Yolo County Airport and Winters, with some of those gusts near 30 miles per hour, and then through Marysville along the Causeway, Sacramento International, some of those gusts near 25 miles per hour. The wind will peak right around 9 o'clock, still favoring the western side of the valley, so be advised of that. We're in this in-between phase. Well, that low that brought us the light rain continues to track east. As it continues to track east and high pressure builds in, we'll get less of the wind tomorrow, but our temperatures are going to go up. Slight dip in temperatures for your Wednesday, the first day of fall, and that system will stay to our north, but it'll bring more onshore flow. We get more of the north wind behind it, high pressure building in for our Thursday, and then a closed low develops off of the coast of Southern California, and then it'll eventually bring some more clouds into our area and keep temperatures closer to average for the weekend. Today, though, we are above average. Temperatures near 92 in Sacramento, taking it up near 93 in Marysville. Breezy at times through Fairfield, that along with the sunshine driving temperatures up near 95. Upper 80s through Stockton and Modesto, low 80s through the foothills, and right near 70. Breezy at times through the Sierra. Temperatures get a boost to the upper 90s tomorrow, drop near low 90s for Wednesday. We stay through the 90s by the end of the week, closer to average for the weekend. We are heading to the WX freeway, saying good morning to anyone traveling near 24th. So this morning, the eastbound side has been moving along a little slower than it usually does. So if you're about to hop on the eastbound side, just know there's still a lot of traffic there. And then you see we still have that ongoing construction work, but at least most of that is in the center divide, so it's not really causing an issue on the roads for now. From there, we say good morning to our Natomas drivers northbound I-5. As you head past El Paso Road, you continue farther north. There's going to be a bit of a traffic jam to get around. Remember, we have Metro Air Parkway construction going on, and that has reduced speeds and tighter shoulders as you travel through that area. North 99, no delays as you travel through Salida, Ripon, Manteca. That sure is a nice change of pace, and your drive times do reflect that. If you are traveling out of Modesto to reach Manteca, look at that crosstown freeway. So Stockton commuters, you have an easy drive too on southbound I-5. But a heads up to anyone that does travel through Stockton, we have a traffic alert for you. The intersection of Minor Avenue and San Joaquin Street will be closed today, and it's not going to reopen for 2.5 months. This is just a couple blocks from Weber Point. Crews will construct a roundabout, so you'll need to find a new way to get around downtown Stockton for the summer too. Yeah, it is a good day to do it. You don't have to worry about chain controls or any wet weather, although we would love to see the snow, even some rain. Here's a look right now if you're traveling near North Star. This is Highway 267 at North Star. Couple people getting an early start there, but you do see the roads are dry. Well, what can we expect if we are heading to the Sierra, or even throughout the rest of our area for that matter? By this afternoon, we'll start to see some clearing. We've had some clouds this morning. I think we'll see more sunshine through about midday in the early afternoon, so beautiful conditions throughout the Sierra, and then you see some more clouds start to push in by later on this afternoon and into this evening. Where is the snow? There's some snow across the country, just not for us. So areas in and around Idaho, Montana picking up on some light snow. There's been a quick shot of snow happening in and around the Great Lakes this morning, but the better snow, the heavier snow, that's falling for areas of the Northeast. And the Northeast over the next extended period has below average temperatures, while for us closer to home, home, yeah, we are talking about mild conditions, dry as well and above average. So today in the Sierra, a mixture of sun and clouds in the mid-50s, and then we'll see more sunshine, take it to the upper 50s into tomorrow. Sunday, even more sun, upper 50s, near 60 to round out the weekend. As for the valley, more of those 60s filling in. I think we'll be in the mid to upper 60s through Saturday and Sunday with just a few passing high clouds. Overnight temperatures stay in the low to mid 40s, so that's running about average for our overnight lows. Different story for those daytime highs. 99. It's been a rough get-go this week on Highway 99. We have another issue that just cleared near Florin Road. You may remember we had one yesterday that really slowed down the commute. So now from Mac to Fruit Ridge, expect to be moving under the speed limit. You get the idea here as you're taking a look with our Caltrans camera. Other than that, watch for this traffic alert in the downtown area. You see the red. So as you're coming off of Highway 160, 12th Street is shut down near North B following an earlier fire. So stick with Richards as your alternate to get around that one. Teo and Deirdre. Yeah, so grab the layers this morning. Upper 30s, the coolest spots in the valley, Stockton and Modesto. In the low 40s in Sacramento. It's cold in the Sierra, but luckily we didn't drop into the single digits this morning. The mild area, that'll be Auburn, sitting at 50 degrees. So this morning we have some clouds moving through. We'll be mostly cloudy, and then by late morning we'll see more clearing, and that'll eventually help to warm our temperatures into the upper 50s, near 60 this afternoon. We'll stay dry. We'll stay mild this week. We'll be in and out of the clouds. Temperatures stay in the upper 50s, near 60. Let's get a check of traffic. Tamara, unfortunately, if you head across the causeway, this is what's waiting for you. I-80 heading past Childs Road. You see the slowdown, and that continues as you get closer toward Davis. Near Richards, there was a crash that was blocking 2 lanes on the westbound side of the road. Those lanes just reopened, but now we're left with the residual slowing from that. So all the way back to Childs. Then as you're traveling toward Davis, you want to allow some extra time. Out of West Sacramento toward Davis, we're looking at a commute that's about 40 minutes. On a good day, this is anywhere from 10 to 15, so allow plenty of extra time there. Ty? Really can't complain here in the weather department. This morning it feels comfortable as you step outside. Beautiful, right? As we take a look across our Sutter Health view, you can see a few high clouds this morning and made for a bit of a nice glow earlier. Just a few high clouds spilling over this ridge through our area, but we're mainly going to see mostly clear conditions throughout the day. Temperatures as you're stepping outside, where is it mild? Well, low 50s in Stockton, 50 off of the coast, 50 in Placerville, and the rest of us are a mix of the 40s unless you're waking up in the Sierra, where temperatures are still in the mid to upper 20s. Let's focus here on the wind. It's going to feel breezy as we continue throughout the day, but at least this morning you're not stepping outside to that much wind. The strongest wind we're seeing is still under 10 miles per hour, but the northwest wind is going to get going right about noon and then continue through this afternoon. We'll notice more of a difference, especially if you're on the west side of the valley. That's where gusts could be in the 20-mile-per-hour range. Nothing that's going to cause any issues. It'll just be a little bit of a nuisance and maybe cause some issues for your allergies. Temperatures get to upper 60s near 70 by noon, and then this afternoon it's bright, it's breezy, and also warmer near 80 degrees. We'll talk more about the midweek warming trend coming up. There's a crash right now, northbound Highway 99 at Jacktone. It blocks the middle lane, and look at that backup. Pretty long stretch through Salida and then all the way through Ripon. In fact, once you get past Highway 219, then you're stuck in that delay. So what does that mean for your drive time? Well, this is that current one, 35 minutes out of Modesto to reach Manteca. So allow for about 15, 20 extra minutes to get around that delay. Taking a look at El Dorado Hills, Highway 50. This looks a lot better than what we were just seeing through Salida and Ripon and through Roseville as well. You'll be right on time past Darling Way. Back to you. Hey, good morning. As we take a peek outside, you can see some sunshine that'll help to lift some of the low clouds as we take a peek across the Golden One Center. If you're heading to the Kings game tonight, you'll just want to make sure you have those layers with temperatures that'll be in the 40s. And in fact, you'll need the layers this morning as well. Upper 30s in Sacramento, Stockton, and Modesto. Still in the teens in South Lake Tahoe, where you do want to grab the thicker coat. Satellite view shows our main weather player is still high pressure. That's in play, and you can see that with the clockwise flow. Any of the storm storm track to our north, and we'll just get a few high clouds from this throughout the day. But other than that, mainly sunshine and some mild conditions. Again, not much change as we head into tomorrow. There will be a system that slides to our north, and that's going to bring us some more clouds, but that's about it. Those clouds aren't going to bring us any rain. We'll just continue to be in and out of clouds over the next 7-day stretch, and at times we will have mild conditions, maybe a little bit of a wind that'll pick up, especially throughout the Sierra. So tomorrow in the Sierra, we'll have more clouds. After days still above average, will be in the upper 40s and near 50 tomorrow, and then by Friday we'll get a slight drop in temperatures to the low 40s, and that's when the wind is also going to pick up. So just be advised of that if maybe you're planning to ski. Could be a little bit gusty over those ridges. Here's how the forecast goes for today. Sunshine this afternoon, temperatures back near 60 degrees in the San Joaquin Valley, low 60s in some spots of the Sacramento Valley. More sunshine and mild temperatures, low to mid 60s in the foothills with some of the warmer spots down toward Sonora. And in the Sierra today, temperatures will be in the 40s in Truckee and South Lake Tahoe, taking temperatures back near 60 degrees in Pollock Pines and Arnold. Full forecast is coming up next. Right now, though, at 8:14, we want to check on that commute. So if you are heading over the summit, here's your current view. Nice and dry for you. This is actually the view as you are approaching Castle Peak, and then Highway 50 near Sierra Tahoe. That looks good as well. Just know that if you're traveling later today overnight, you want to make sure you have your chains if you don't have four-wheel drive or snow tires. Really, the only thing you need to watch out throughout the Sierra today, any closures, at least for now, still Abbott's, Montage, and Sonora are closed for the winter. Let's talk some delays. Looking a little bit better as you're heading out along Highway 4. Still some minor slowing, and then the usual slowdown still continues as you're heading south through Concord. Checking in with our super commuters off to the Bay Area still. Headed past the toll, looked a lot busier a couple hours ago. Now we're starting to quiet down as you're headed up the incline and across the span of the Bay Bridge. Back to you, Teo. Hey, welcome back. We're off to a chilly start, so you want to grab the jacket, and you might want to keep that around this afternoon. We'll still stay below average. We will have some clouds. Today is dry, so we're in between systems. It's not going to last long. We'll have more rain that moves in overnight, and then more occasional rain through the end of the week, and better chances for the weekend. Okay, you ready for this? Let's walk you through it. Here's a look at our future cast. So today we keep with the sun and the clouds. It's not until the overnight hours that we have the rain chances move in. Some snow throughout the Sierra, and the rain chance is going to linger for tomorrow's commute. We'll stay unsettled through tomorrow, and then by Thursday we have another shot of rain. Looks like the best chance for any accumulation is going to be north of I-80. Friday, a better shot for more of everyone to pick up on some of the rain, even some of the Sierra snow. On Saturday, I think most of us are going to stay dry. We might see some rain for some of those higher elevations, like here along the coast, and then also some of that snow through the Sierra. And then the big one happens on Sunday. I think by about Sunday evening, it's going to be a lot different. We're talking windy conditions. We're also chalking the chance for some decent amount of rain and some Sierra snow. This is going to continue into Monday, and now this long-range model even paints some lingering snow into a Tuesday. So be advised of that. If you were thinking about planning to travel through the Sierra this weekend, you might just want to give yourself a couple extra days if you head up at the end of the week. Here's a look at our 7-day forecast. So we're keeping those temperatures below average. Typically, we're in the upper 70s. The warmest days with the 7-day in the low 70s. Most days in the 60s. We stay in the low 70s today, and then we drop it down to the low 60s tomorrow. Beyond that, best chance for rain looks to be Wednesday, Friday, and then again on Sunday. Yeah, it's pretty good, Dirk. Let's head to the Sierra. Check out one of my favorite views at Echo Summit. Hey, there's a bunch of cars moving through this area, so it is starting to get a little bit busier if you are planning to head over Echo Summit. But luckily, no incidents, no big time delays. We do still have those closures of Abbott's, Montage, and Sonora. Those are still blocked off, but other than that, it's pretty manageable heading out along Highway 50. Conditions dry, so no need to worry about where those chains are. I-5 near P Street heading downtown. No delays here as you are traveling both north and south directions. No backups to try to merge onto the transition ramp there. I-5 near Airport Boulevard. Bright start if you're heading to catch a flight. If you're waking up in Woodland trying to get toward Airport Boulevard, you can see nice, manageable conditions ahead of you. Back to you, Deirdre. Yeah, another day that we have hazardous to unhealthy air really settling into the Tahoe Basin. So along the north and the west shores especially, then also dropping visibility due to that thick smoke through Truckee and also through Placerville, starting to pick up on more of that unhealthy air spreading into areas like Colfax and Grass Valley. So if you smell the smoke, you want to stay indoors. Now, as for the valley, we'll see some hazy sun today. Temperatures, though, this morning pretty pleasant in the 60s. We warm up to the upper 70s by noon and eventually taking it near 90 for that daytime high, so a few degrees below average before we warm it up even more at the end of the week and triple digits by the weekend. Good morning, Eileen, and good morning to our Cap City Freeway commuters. Moving a little slow as you're heading south. Let's focus right here near Fulton. So here, if you take a look, you see traffic moving slow heading southbound. You also see a tow truck, and there's 5 vehicles involved in a crash there. So that's causing a bit of a backup. After you get past the split, then you see that delay along the southbound portion of the Cap City Freeway. So just know that you will be hitting the brakes as you head through that area. To the Delta we go now. Highway 160 commuters, a reminder that Highway 160 is still closed at the Steamboat Slough due to some ongoing bridge work, so you will need an alternate to get around that through the rest of the week. Between Vacaville and Fairfield, we're finally back up to speed following an earlier stalled vehicle that was slowing us down. Back to you, Georgia. Yeah, so through South Lake Tahoe, we have unhealthy air. The worst of that air quality is still around the north and the west shores of Lake Tahoe. Taking a look at the visibility, usually we use this map to show you where the fog is, but this is in fact where the thickest smoke is, dropping visibility down to a half a mile through Truckee, a mile through Placerville, just over a mile through Auburn, and 7 miles through South Lake Tahoe. The wind is playing a factor. We have a pretty stagnant wind throughout Truckee and South Lake Tahoe, so pretty light and then calm as well throughout the foothills. So that's allowing just that smoke to settle in throughout those areas. But where we've got that Delta breeze through Fairfield, that onshore flow about 20 miles per hour, that's helped to make for better conditions clearing out the valley. So that's where we're waking up to a pretty nice start. As we take a look at what we can expect for today in the Sierra, unfortunately still tracking smoky and unhealthy air. Temperatures right near average in the upper 70s down toward lake level. Southwest wind expected today about 10 to 20 miles per hour. So we'll watch for that sustained wind in and around the Caldor fire. A smoky, hazy start throughout the foothills. I think it'll be similar to yesterday where we had a little bit better clearing as we head into the afternoon with temperatures in the 80s, low 80s through Grass Valley and Placerville. A little bit warmer as you head toward Sonora. In the valley, staying below average, so it will stay pretty pleasant. And we'll have that gradual warm up, gradually warming up to the mid to upper 80s this afternoon. We turn a little bit warmer through the 7-day forecast. We'll take a closer look at that coming up. Let's get a check of the roads. Yeah, really, there's only one slow spot, and let's head right there, northbound I-5, heading past Laguna. So here you can see the red, yellow speed sensors. There's a crash right here heading near Laguna. Not a long stretch of slowdowns, but something to watch out for if you are making your way out of Elk Grove and continuing north. But through the pocket area, no big-time backups, and checking out I-5 in some other spots. Well, Elk Grove looks good, at least here. Not at Laguna, though. That's where the slowdown is. I-5 near Del Paso Road, both directions. It's a breeze if you are traveling at a Thomas and heading toward Airport Boulevard. From there, let's check out today's construction. Not at the Rio Vista Bridge, but if you're traveling north along Highway 160, a reminder that the Paintersville Bridge does remain closed for some ongoing construction work. Hey, good morning. It's off to a pretty nice start. You know, we had the showers this morning, and now as you step outside, you get a little bit of this break if you're stepping out in the valley. Good morning if you're traveling along I-80. This is Fairfield. We've got a mix of sun and clouds there. Temperatures in the low 40s as well in Sacramento, 40 degrees in Stockton, 21 in Lake Tahoe. So let's talk about today, because we've got the rain, the wind, and the snow. At least we get a little bit of a dry period for half of the day. By noon, here's a look at our futurecast pattern. So we've got the showers along the coast, and then in the valley, Sacramento, Stockton, Modesto, portions of the foothills do remain dry. Let's continue advancing this. So by about mid-afternoon, we'll start to see some of those showers in the valley, and then for the commute home this evening, it's going to be soggy. So you might want to just throw the rain gear into your car to use for later. You definitely don't need it this morning. And then continuing to 9, here's where the heavy rain is going to start to push through the valley with some heavier pockets that continue during the overnight hours. We pause that by midnight, and
And then as we wake up tomorrow morning, we're just talking about some scattered showers, and it's going to clear out and we'll have some sunshine for us by tomorrow afternoon. The temperature's going to stay cool. Today in the valley, again, increasing clouds. Temperatures, I do think, will mostly remain in the 40s. Some spots like Modesto, Vacaville could hit that 50-degree mark. Now, along with this, you're going to feel the wind really increase, especially heading into night. We're talking about gusty conditions, likely mainly rain showers throughout the foothills. Temperatures in the upper 30s, low 40s, and snow mainly above 4,000 feet in the Sierra. Let's get a check of traffic.
What traffic? It's that time in the morning when we can zoom out for your overall traffic picture and you get to see all this green. So we're moving along pretty smoothly. You can see that here with the green speed sensors, except for right here. Maybe you have to travel Highway 4. Well, you're in great shape through Pittsburgh, Bay Point. It's once you're getting onto Highway 242, then getting onto southbound 680 where there's delay. You can see with the red speed sensors through Concord, Pleasant Hill, and Contra Costa. Just keep that in mind. You will have to hit the brakes. You'll be joining a crowd of cars as you're making that commute there. Other than that, as you are approaching the Richmond-San Rafael Bridge toll, look at this. It looks a lot better than what we've seen the past couple of mornings when traffic was very backed up. Now you just get some of that cloud cover. A little gloomy for that commute over there. Back to you, Ty. This commuter concern comes from Summer. She asked when Bass Lake Road will open again off of Highway 50. Well, Summer, you'll like this update. Bass Lake Road to Highway 50 will be open later today. You'll still see continued work on the road through October. It's part of reconstruction work. Phase 2 of the project here wraps up today. That'll lead to a new detour as we enter the project's third phase. Here's a look at that one. Starting tonight, expect a detour around Country Club Drive between Bass Lake Road and Tierra de Dios Drive. It will allow crews to construct a new intersection at Country Club Drive and Bass Lake Road. That work runs until mid-September. What's your commuter concern? Email me at commuterconcerns@kcra.com. You can also find me on Facebook, Melanie Hunter TV. This satellite image, pretty good depiction showing you where the smoke is coming from. We have it in all directions here. Here you can see the Caldor fire really pumping up a lot of smoke, really socking in the Tahoe Basin with smoke. And then also the Dixie fire spreading some of that smoke throughout the area. Now the change that we've been talking about today, you're starting to see more of the fire from the areas north near Redding coming down the western and northern portion of the valley as we have more of that northerly direction of the wind. As we put our smoke forecast into motion, you'll see more of the yellow and the orange shading spilling into the valley, so we'll have hazier conditions expected this afternoon and into this evening, and the foothills and Tahoe locations will still be pretty smoky into this afternoon. So here's a look at that forecast. Today temperatures go above average. We'll be in the upper 90s in the valley spots, so definitely take advantage of this morning while temperatures are still cooler. Tomorrow, dependent on the smoke, likely hitting the triple digits, and that will continue into the weekend. Again, just depending on how the smoke does play out, that could alter some of these daytime highs, but we do have the potential to get hot over the weekend. Beyond that, temperatures drop to the upper 90s, still above average, but by the middle of the week we get closer toward average. The Sierra. So here you go. If you head out along Highway 15 or Echo Summit, know that the roads are going to be damp. You see that here, and you also see some snow coating those trees. So that's great. You get a nice view as you're traveling towards South Lake Tahoe. A little bit drier. I-80 near Highway 267. Still no issues if you're headed through Truckee. But keep in mind, Ebbets, Monitor, and Sonora passes, those are all closed off. Back to you, Ty and Tony. Luckily, we aren't expecting as much wind today. Still out of the southwest, but it won't be gusty, and we don't have that red flag warning. As you step outside up and down the valley, temperatures are in the upper 50s. Some of those spots already reaching a 60. Futurecast wind pattern shows that the wind will be less today. You see that sustained wind through South Lake Tahoe, just near 10 to 15 miles per hour. Near 85 in downtown Sacramento, a little bit warmer tomorrow. Upper 90s near 100 over your holiday weekend. Two main spots to watch out for if you're traveling east of Oakdale. Highway 108 heading eastbound this morning. It is blocked off due to a crash at Lancaster, and that eastbound section is not expected to reopen until 12:30 this afternoon, so you'll have to take a detour to get around that one. We're still recovering following an incident that left just the fast lane open on northbound 99 near 6. So here you still have some delays as you're traveling through Ceres. If you're waking up in Turlock trying to get through Modesto, just give yourself some extra time. We'll see you back here for our KCRA 3 News at noon, live with Kelly and Ryan. That's up next.
Meteorologist Melanie Hunter.
Good morning. Have you taken a peek outside lately? Yeah, looks a lot like that. That's our downtown sky camera. So we're still dealing with the fog, and you can definitely feel it with our temperatures 46 degrees in Sacramento, in the 50s in Stockton and Modesto. Once that fog does lift, we'll see some afternoon sunshine with another run at temperatures in the mid to upper 60s. A little bit warmer in those spots that's seeing the fog lift a little bit quicker. In the foothills, mild conditions this afternoon, sunshine in the 60s, and in the Sierra, we'll keep with sunshine and temperatures in the 50s. We'll see you back here for more news and weather in 1 hour. Yeah, it is, and quite the change from what we were experiencing 24 hours ago. I want to show you this because this is just to show you the difference in winds. Calm winds where you're seeing the blue shading here, so light to calm wind, and then still in the western and northern portion of the Sacramento Valley where you see some of the green shading, that's where it may still feel a bit windy. Some of those locally isolated areas are experiencing some of those stronger gusts throughout the morning, but for most of us, light to calm wind up and down the valley. Still a sustained wind about 22 miles per hour, northeasterly breeze through Fairfield for now. Today's temperatures sunny and warm, so a similar feel to yesterday, but we'll just get rid of the wind for the most of the area. But again, low 90s for that daytime high. So again, similar feel, and then we'll drop off to the upper 70s by later on this evening. What can we expect for the remainder of the weekend, and when will it feel more like fall? Will it feel more like fall? We'll talk more about that coming up next. We still have some lingering fog in the valley. Most spots, though, have a warm afternoon ahead. Just how warm will our temperatures get into the weekend? We'll take a look at your weekend forecast coming up. Today is the second day in a row that we have the triple digits. So yeah, you don't want to be outside in this type of heat. You want to limit your time outdoors as much as possible. Right now, temperatures, you're taking a look at this, 94 in Sacramento, and we're just in the 12 o'clock hour. 90 through Stockton, 91 in Modesto, and 82 through Lake Tahoe. And you take a look at this view downtown, you do see the haze. We really haven't had much wind to just disperse some of those pollutants, so it's just hanging around in our sky today. You see a light wind that is in place through US City, Sacramento, and the higher wind through Fairfield and Stockton, but still under 15 miles per hour. So really not helping with cooling all that much. Taking a look at the satellite view, we've got the clear conditions across Northern California. Now take a look at Southern California. You see through the desert southwest, and then some of this cloud cover starting to move from south to north through Southern California. Eventually, we're going to see more of this cloud cover into our area as we take a look at Futurecast. And today is the day that we could see some of these showers, some storms bubble up throughout the Sierra. So we pause this in a couple of hours. You see that slight chance start to pop up, mainly south of Highway 50. So areas through Sonora, Mariposa, Tuolumne counties. And then you see that increasing cloud cover. We're going to see more of that cloud cover pushed through the valley later on this evening and into the overnight hours, even some passing clouds again tomorrow. And then we also have another chance for some of those storms throughout the Sierra. And this is going to slide to more northern portions of the Sierra as well. Now today, unfortunately, we're still dealing with that really poor air quality in and around Quincy, with temperatures still very warm in the upper 90s, upper 80s through Truckee and South Lake Tahoe, and 93 through Arnold. In the foothills, more of the 90s, even some triple-digit spots. So Auburn right now in the upper 90s, reaching near 100 in Angels Camp, 101 through Sonora. Off to the coast, near 70 through San Francisco. So temperatures climbing throughout the Bay Area today, upper 90s through Concord, Antioch, back to the triple digits through Fairfield. More widespread areas hitting the triple digits today after Stockton and Modesto were in the upper 90s yesterday, near 103 through Modesto, 102 in Stockton. And in the range of 103 to 105 through most Sacramento area spots. We're calling for a high near 105 for you in Roseville, 104 in Folsom, 103 through Yuba City. And we won't have much of that Delta breeze to help cool us off later on this evening until just after sunset. So 7-day forecast shows a lot of triple triple digits. Yeah, we are just really at the start of it, aren't we? So we continue with the triple digits tomorrow. We will look a little different. You'll see more clouds, could feel a little bit more moisture in the atmosphere, and then start to continue to see the triple digits Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's not until Monday, so you have to wait a little bit until we start to see those temperatures slide back into the upper 90s and closer to average on Tuesday. So typically, Lisa, this time of the year, we are talking about temperatures right near 94 for that average. We're just well above that with this long stretch of triple digit.
Yeah, you can feel it as you step outside. I was outside earlier this morning, and I wished I had my fall coat with me. And you might be thinking that, too, if you are out today. Temperatures right now as you step outside, mid to upper 60s from the areas like the valley toward the foothills, and in the upper 50s through Truckee and South Lake Tahoe. There isn't much wind as you step outside, but if you are through areas like Fairfield, it is a little bit breezier there with a southwest wind about 17 miles per hour and a slight breeze in place through the Truckee area. As we take a look at our satellite view, you do see clouds that are pushing through the area. For some of the counties that are northern, that will be where you're seeing a little bit more of the thicker cloud cover, and that precipitation continues to be seen on our satellite view along the foothills areas and through the Sierra. We even caught some flurries earlier on Mount Rose. Here's what we're tracking with those weather headlines. We get more of that rain and snow tomorrow. It's not going to be a lot, but a little bit more than what we're seeing with this teaser that we've gotten today. Weekend sun and warmer temperatures. Not very warm, but they'll rebound from what we're experiencing today and tomorrow. Then we will turn windy as we head into next week. So let's walk you through our future cast. We'll pause this early tomorrow morning. That's when you'll start to see some light rain falling through portions of the valley and the foothills. So if you step outside tomorrow morning, you could see some damp pavement within the valley. More of that starts to fill in through the foothills and the Sierra by about 5 o'clock. And then by about mid-morning, we'll see more of the chance for the flurries from anywhere along I-80, stretching all the way down toward Mariposa County. Getting into the early afternoon, look at this. We're already pretty clear up and down the valley, so it'll be pretty quick. And then we do have some lingering showers throughout the Sierra, but it will taper as we head into the evening. And then by sunset, you're just left with some of that cloud cover. Futurecast with this model showing that just trace amounts up and down the valley, and then in the foothill locations, you could pick up anywhere from about 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch, so it's not going to be a lot. When we talk about snowfall, here's what we're talking. Again, it's not a lot, but we'll take it. This is exciting. Seeing some of those flakes. Echo Summit, Highway 50, so about 1 inch, and maybe down toward Bear Valley, a couple of inches. And just because it is the first time this season we're seeing anything that could reach the ground, well, then that means that it could be a little dicey on the roads. People might have a little trouble with that, so Caltrans is closing some of those passes in advance of that. 74 the daytime high today with mostly cloudy conditions, and then tomorrow we drop it down into the upper 60s, clearing though after we get some of that rain pushing through, and then temperatures rebound to the mid to upper 70s for the weekend. More of that sunshine fills in, and then we turn windy, watching the potential for the north wind into the early part of next week. Lisa?
Hi, meet our Sacramento SPCA Pet of the Week. This is Sweet Minnie. She's an oldie but goodie. She's an 11-year-old Maltese mix, and you can see she just loves to be a lap dog. She's very calm and gentle. She's lived with other kids before, but she'd be best with a family that has a calm environment. She also does great on the leash, and she loves her car rides. So if you'd like to make Minnie part of your home, you can head to Sacramento SPCA's website, ssbca.org, and schedule a same-day adoption appointment. Right. I love stories like that.
No, but do you want to go to the moon? He's into fashion. You love fashion.
I won't be the guinea pig. Maybe after a few trips, yeah. It's going to be a beautiful afternoon, so plan some activities outside. Above average again tomorrow in the upper 60s, and then we have a cool down front moves through pretty quick Saturday morning, so rain and snow, but Saturday afternoon will be nice, and Sunday cooler, and then more showery weather Monday, Tuesday, and left over into Wednesday. I think your wettest day is going to be on Tuesday. Dear